Hey friends, I'm Jess of Nourishing New Mamas, and I'm excited because today we're going to be talking about my favorite postpartum do's and don'ts so that you can set yourself up for more peaceful, faster, better postpartum recovery. Number 1, don't focus and obsess about losing the baby weight postpartum. Instead, do focus on nourishing your body and increasing your amount of nutrient-dense foods. We live in a world where you give birth and then you're immediately bombarded with messages about getting your pre-baby body back, whatever that means, because newsflash, your body's the same it was before it gave birth that it is. You have the same body. It's just gone through changes and it's doing a lot of things that it didn't have to do before. And it's really heartbreaking because not only is that a mental burden we don't need after, the massive transition into momhood, but it's extremely damaging to our health. Your thyroid, your hormones, your metabolism doesn't need the stress of cutting calories, of lacking nutrients, and possibly over-exercising or being introduced to exercise before you're ready. Though we are aware of the importance of nourishing ourselves while we're pregnant, your body is actually expending more energy postpartum if you're producing breast milk to feed that baby, which means it is leaching more nutrients from your body, macro and micro, and is giving out more calories than it was even when it was pregnant and that baby was inside of you. And so we tend to think that we can kind of just run on thin air while we're breastfeeding, sometimes on purpose and sometimes by accident, just because we might be overwhelmed, we forget to eat, we skip meals, we're tired. But this is the time to be really focusing on nourishing yourself. When I was newly postpartum, I really tried to focus on nutrients like whole food vitamin C for tissue repair, plus protein for tissue repair, and supporting my liver and blood sugar because it was going to be doing so much, kind of rebalancing my hormones after birth. Lots of things like pasture-raised meats and stews and bone broth and high-quality grass-fed dairy, lots of fruit, coconut water with some sea salt. All of these things are so critical because you are giving out so much more than you know. And so yes, you want to give your baby the best nutrient-dense breast milk possible, but you also want to have nutrients left over for you to heal. Postnatal depletion is real, and it's one of the reasons why a lot of things like thyroid disorders tend to crop up with symptoms in that first year postpartum, because it's really easy to become depleted if we're not on top of our nourishment. So, nourish yourself. It can be really hard to watch your body make such drastic changes, but try to focus on what your body just did and the amazing feat of growing a human and now providing food for that human, as opposed to what it looks like in comparison to what, maybe society says it should look like. Be proud of yourself. You did an amazing thing carrying that baby for 9 months, birthing that baby, and now taking care of that baby. Number 2, don't rush the rest and instead implement the 5-5-5 rule. This was something that was introduced to me in one of my favorite books, I've talked about a lot. It's called The First 40 Days. And also my midwife was very big on this. And it's this idea of really taking that time, that sacred time postpartum, to really rest your system. You're in the bed for 5 days, you're on the bed for 5 days, and then you're around the bed for 5 days. When you give birth, you've got this massive wound in your uterus, the size of your placenta, and it's just there, and it needs time to heal like anything else. If that wound was on our side, on our arm, on our leg, you better believe that everyone around us, and ourselves included, would be taking it easy. You'd be watching it heal. You'd be making sure you weren't pushing yourself too hard. But because you can't see it, it can be really hard to give yourself the rest that you need. But please be aware, your body needs it. Rushing that resting period really only serves to really deplete your body in an already depleted state. And so going back on number 1, nourishing yourself and not rushing the rest period, even if you feel like you could do more. This also goes to asking for help, making sure that you are letting your partner know how they can support you, texting a friend and asking if they can put together a meal train, asking for, your family who's coming to visit and see the baby if they could do the dishes and they could bring you snacks so that you're well fed while you're feeding baby. All of this comes down to making sure that you're asking for help when you need it, not trying to do so much, and really focusing on resting your body and snuggling that sweet baby. Number 3, don't spend all that downtime scrolling on your phone, and instead do spend an obscene amount of time staring at your new baby's face. So this is one of my favorite ones to talk about because I think it's something that's really overlooked. But when you give birth, your body is going through lots of changes that are literally creating that bond between you and baby hormonally. And so your body's flooded with hormones like oxytocin through skin-to-skin contact, nursing, eye gazing, and it interacts with the neurotransmitter dopamine, which is in charge of the reward system in your brain. And it's what happens when you're looking at your baby and it feels like, oh my gosh, I could just look at my baby for hours and hours, and then when I go take a shower, even though it's nice to get some alone time, I miss her and I come back. Those feelings are biologically driven. That is a good thing by design. And so all of that time you spend snuggling, looking, interacting with your baby is driving those oxytocin levels up and helping that interact with your reward system in your brain. Scientists have shown in recent studies in the last 10 years with the uptick of social media that the same addictive qualities of social media, when you're scrolling and you're looking for likes and you keep reaching for your phone all the time, that interacts with the same reward system in your brain that it does when you're looking at baby, bonding with baby. And so if we're getting that hit of dopamine from our phone and not our baby, it can really interfere with the bonding that we're feeling to the baby. This is not to say that you can't ever be on your phone, that you can't ever be on social media. I posted an obscene amount of pictures of my baby when I first had her, because of course you do. But it's just something to be aware of and to be mindful of. You know, that time you get when they're a newborn and they're just snuggling on your chest, it really does go by so quickly. And though it comes with its challenges, for sure, and can be very difficult, it also goes by very fast. And I just think it's super helpful for moms mentally, hormonally, and physically as they're resting to focus on that time of bonding with your baby and to really let technology take a rest for a little bit. All right, number 4, last but not least, don't abandon your pelvic floor. Instead, do invest time, resources to healing and getting it checked out and potentially doing physical therapy to rehab your pelvic floor. Pelvic floor physical therapy, I think, is one of the most underutilized tools for women healing postpartum. If you're new and you're like, what is the pelvic floor? It's essentially the sling of muscles. It can go from your core all the way back through to your glutes. And it's the sling of muscles that holds up our organs. It's responsible for loosening when we give birth to the baby, letting her or him go through, tightening back up to hold all our organs in place. I had my own share of pelvic floor issues that arose when I was pregnant, and I'm so grateful that I prioritized pelvic floor physical therapy, because I came to learn just how involved it is and things that people don't even realize, though they think are normal postpartum symptoms, can be related to your pelvic floor. Things like incontinence, things like pain during sex, prolapse, hemorrhoids, all these things that I've heard moms joke about as like, oh, you have a baby and these things happen, are very related to your pelvic floor health. A lot of us are walking around with hypertonic or too tense pelvic floors or too loose, and what we want, especially if we're pregnant and getting ready to give birth, is a responsive pelvic floor. When it's strong and tight when we need it and is able to relax, like, say, when you're pushing a baby out. So making that a priority, even better if you're pregnant and you're listening now, that is something hands down I would put on the baby registry over all those clothes. I know everyone wants to get baby. Take care of mama. So important. I cannot recommend it enough. All right, friends, that's it. I hope this video helped encourage and empower you going into your postpartum season to have a better, more peaceful, and a faster postpartum recovery. Let me know in the comments below which don't stuck out to you most, and hit that subscribe button if you're new. I make new videos every Wednesday on all things intentional, holistic nourishment with your mama design in mind.